actual person who's asking the money is the one who shot her
siya,
son.
Tindagan.
So there's no ambulance that could get in the place, so they have to put him inside a tricycle, a pedicab. He pawned her own house because their neighbors wanted to have a parking space. So the neighbor accepted the pawn, 10,000. You can have my house, but so she said, I just have to ask God for permission that I have to double lie. I already pawned the house, and now I'm pawning it for the second time just to get the casket paid. There's another American that her daughter was introduced to, and they meet and then have dinner. Just gave her wants to take her to the hotel room, but she said no. So she just been given 200 pesos to go home. This video is the update of the dancing officer here in Fuente. I'm here right now around Puente Osmeña vicinity, and I meet the dancing traffic officer here. So I invited her over for lunch. Now that it's lunchtime. Hi. I have a video about Ate before that she was dancing here, but she's still working in the same area behind Puente. You know, the parking area where the Pungko sa Puente is located. So Ate here was telling me that she had bad news since I videoed her because imong anak tinog gipusil. Someone shot her son.
Paguli niya sa mua, may lalaki silingan na mo, ma'am. Nangayon niya 200. Pero kay wala may katawa na kay ipalit na maintenance siya papa bukas. Mato pagkagabi, iyatangan siya.
Because someone was asking, one of their neighbors was asking her son for money, 200 pesos, but her son said that he needs it for the medicine of her husband. Yeah, and then only give the tagalan niya 40. Only give the one who's asking 40 pesos, and he said, are you in sa medicine?
Medicine bukas.
But
how do you magdam na? Katong masilingan ni plano na din. So ko lagi kay ubog siya ba maon. Pagkagabi kitawag si ma'am.
So it was the neighbor they don't even know that the neighbor was really angry for not giving the money of 200 that he's asking. Her son only gave 40 because that's the extra that he have for his earnings for the day after buying food and medicine, rice and medicine for the father and her, and then only give 40 to the person that's asking money, and then their neighbor didn't accept it, the one that's asking, and then at night nakita jud nga siya napusilti.
Na may witness mo.
So there was witnesses that the actual person who's asking the money is the one who shot her son.
Pero siya ma'am. Doon niya mo. Yapayan siya. Yayan ito. Hidagan ako na hidagan.
Because there are witnesses who saying that the suspect called her son and then put her arms around his neck, and that his son was struggling to get out and run, and when his son ran, that's when he was shot by the same person that's asking money from him. So luka kuyo ano inyong lugar ti uy.
Ano na siya ma'am?
Narakpan mula. So the person itself, after shooting her son, disappeared from the place.
Wala siya dakit ano. Mga pulis sila kabuti. Ni
rescue.
Rescue.
Uy. So there's only one policeman. Uy. 1 hour after? Dada yun.
Wala.
3 hours before the police came in, and then the suspect already left and left the place.
Ay, mga nakipasin. Dagan ko. Ganan ako na kana. Wala sakyan mo tanan.
Wala may ambulance.
Wala. Wala ambulansya.
Uy, kaloy.
Ipakila pa sa tindagan.
So there's no ambulance that could get in the place, so they have to put him inside a tricycle, a pedicab. Yeah. And you know, it's only pedal. It's a matter of life and death.
Skina nga na highway. May patrol ka akong babagan. Huwag pilimit po yun eh.
So she was there running ahead
So,
in her bed clothes. Gabi din hitabo ti.
alas 11, ma'am.
11 o'clock in the evening. So she was already in her bed clothes. She went to the highway and asked the patrol car to help them.
Kasi man parang pulis. Wato na yung barangay sa rescue na musikap. Dito kisakay na ko kung anak. Pagkabat sa hospital, dito rival na.
Dito na arrival na. 3 hours na good tea. Nag-bleeding na to. So it was about over 3 hours before her son was arrived in the hospital. So that is the problem. Kaya di man makasud ang ambulansya sa dito ti.
Kasuod ma. Kasuod siya.
Why nga nung may ambulansya?
May ambulansya.
There's no ambulansya. So
napakatrabaho sa gobyerno.
So that's the problem now because there's no ambulance available.
May tagkortahan ta kay dato ta kay pwede ito.
Irop.
Hirap talaga. Wala mo ito. Okay, tayo. Cellphone mo. Okay, tanan. May ambulansya dyan eh. Rescue mo.
Uy. So otino. So the ambulance is taking so long.
Lungon. Parang wala mo siya kay kawaman mo.
So she's now the problem is the coffin.
Pinda na ko bala-bala.
So he pawned her own house to buy the casket.
Silingan na mo nga. Gusto bitaw ka na. Yung sakinan may parkingan na. Nadiwa mo sa parkingan na. Igawat sa kumbalay ako ni Prinda.
Ano magali?
Kaya ako ni Prinda.
Wala may balay ron.
Steady lang niya ako. Ma'am, yung namin kuha nga. Mga tulo ka buwan. Parimatin na siya ako. Hindi naman.
Uy, kaluin mo ati, uy.
Karoon, di man na kuha na kung ano. Kay namatay siya sa bato. Sa gabi.
Saturday he died. So there's no office on Sunday. So
Why pisina? Dito ko sa kong barangay kapitan.
so she went to the barangay captain and asked for help.
Wala sila kitabang.
The captain didn't help you?
Dito ko silang malay.
So the barangay captain
Wala ko ng kapitan.
declined to help because there's no money for the barangay.
Oo. Di ma'am. Ako ka lang po. Taka lang. Magpatabang ko mamaya. Mga akong anak. Asa man ako. Mapaylo na nga. Ganito. Belsamar sa lang. Wala ko na. Domingo ko na.
Because she wants her son to be laid in a casket because it's there just open na sa inyong balay.
Oh, really?
Hospital pa?
Hospital ma'am. Pero kasi sa morgue. Parang rental pa na rin. Wala naman siya kayo mahin mo na. Huwag po. Ito lagyan.
Moto na, he pawned her own house because their neighbors wanted to have a parking space. So the neighbor accepted the pawn, 10,000 pesos.
Okay. Kung ato ka si Tiol, Domingo man, wala.
Because she can't ask help from her employer, the city of Cebu, because it was Sunday. So it was shot on Saturday. So next day is Sunday. There's no office. Why office?
Mata akong di pa.
So immediately, because it's dead on arrival,
10,000.
10,000 for pawning her house.
Karon sa mga kanin. Niyato ko sa pernarya. Ang pernarya nga, rental, hinala mag-down payment.
So the
Down ko 5,000.
down payment for the
Ako man akong kung nila nilimpuan.
for the embalming and stuff like that.
Down ako 5,000. Lain pernarya, niyate na ko kung 600 sad. Di man maong pernarya. So, ako natag. Basta hapit naman, 6,000 kapin. Karoon na. Karoon ko na, ito pa kong city health niya. Wala pa man, pati ako anak. Tapos sa...
City health for the death certificate. Because you need to report the
Hindi na ako anak paglunis.
Yeah.
Ito sa...
to get a death certificate.
Pernarya. Kung naman sa... may bayad.
Wala lang nila report nga kuan COVID para you have a money.
Hindi naman kay...
Shooting man.
Gunshot man.
Gunshot. So no COVID. Because I was asking her if why don't you report it as COVID? No, because it's so obvious that it's a gunshot. They can't just pay you to make it COVID. Alright. So kaluyot no. Minyo to ti.
Kuan yun, nasa sawa, mapus.
And then there's a girlfriend left with who is pregnant, 4 months pregnant. Kasi diba yung anak eh?
Anak ko, beses mo to.
Ha?
Anak ko, beses mo to.
Mau ba?
Baka man ako man. Baka tayo, sinko ano.
Oh, it's also a traffic officer, said siya.
Hindi.
Ano sabi?
Wala kong dispatcher ito.
Dispatcher, so just like the dispatcher on the road, you know, that's assisting vehicles, and he only lives on the tip.
Parto man ba?
Oh, parking, like assisting on parking, and assisting anyone on the road, like getting out of parking. So sometimes people give 5 pesos, 10 pesos. So he save it up for the whole day, and then that's when he helped her and the husband buy the medicine and rice.
150. 150.
So she earns about 150 to 180 a day. How old is your son?
29.
29 years old.
Ikapat na anak.
The poor child. Buya mo tino.
Nata man na. Karon kay.
Kano sabi niya natabo ito? When did it happen?
Napagit certificate ya.
June.
5.
June 5 ka ba? Pag-ura. Puro lang. Hapit na mo buwan.
Karon.
So
Maya na
just
sa yuta.
Sa lubngan. So now her problem again is in the cemetery.
Cemetery
Kung cabinet,
Semento,
Oh.
15,000.
15,000 for the cabinet. If you buried in the ground, pila?
Toyota, 5,000.
5,000. Yuta na lang. 5,000 is for if you're buried in the ground.
Ang isa sa simban, 1,500.
1,500 for the church. 6,500 na.
Karon, wala na sa church. Ang akong ipindaw.
Ang unsa?
Itin.
ATM. ATM for her wages.
Lugay pa sildo.
Mm.
Ako naman din.
Because that's another thing that they do here is like your ATM. If you're working regularly on a job, you can also pawn your ATM and they'll be the one.
Paswara mo to.
They'll be the one claiming your. Sila mo kubra sa mong sweldo ti. Ay na.
Ikaw naman. Ako gipin na ko. Di man sa malabo ako.
But also, he wants her son to be settled down and kept like ito, no?
Wala may digyan na ako nagdigyan naman. Example, ang lungon is 50,000.
15,000 for the casket.
Wala na kasi kanina na ako itong 10,000. Para din akong digyan.
Doon na pa kay, you have another 10,000.
Wala lang kapag ano itong aluway man akong hindi nagkagawa ito na kutin. Hindi ako hindi nagkagawa ko. Hindi ka ba hindi kayo kung nakawa. Naman ko'y balay. Pero naman ka ako ma'am. Nangayon siya ko po siya sino. Na ako'y balay. Hindi ang balay na kung
Because like the one that's accepting her ATM is not even even accepted, and said so. He said, "You can have my house," but so she said, "I just have to ask God for permission that I have to double lie. I already pawned the house, and now I'm pawning it for the second time just to get the casket paid." No,
hindi ko kamay sakit. Pwede ako malay parahon. Pero ako malay na pwede na daan.
So I know because she's already pawned it first to pay for the hospital bills.
Kakuhan sa lubungan naman. Katarong sa Japon. Anong check?
So it's not easy. Hindi sa yun mamatay ron ti. It's not easy to die.
Ito barangay. Ang nakabang sa barangay. Kaya ko naman lang. Kanang kaya pa rin ko na. Ang nakabang. Ako sa isyo.
Oh, there. Oh. But she's working still. Look, there's a parking officer. He's gonna issue that one on the blue for a ticket. So we'll just wait for Ate, and we'll continue on the story. There she is in action. Luya ate ga, no? Bago pa din namatay yung June 5 daw. June 5. So we were talking about Ate's son. She is the dancing police officer in one of my videos, but she's like a jolly old woman here. Just keep on dancing on her job. So Ate's here now, and she said her son died around June 5, and this rain is not helping because like it keeps on raining, and then he buried him on the ground of the cemetery, which is only 5,000, and it sunk in because of the rain. Pero anam yun natin, basta bago pang lubong, us-us man na. Yeah. So the like grave maker there was asking 3,000 to make a like cemento to cement it and make a tomb. So ate is really working hard now because ang uban din mong anak ti.
Ano ka, gagmay pa man. Kaya pa man.
Mao ba?
May dako naman na.
Pila ka book ang kuan? Siga 11 kids, I said 10 now. But the one that's helping them for their means of living, that's the one got an accident, was shot by the neighbor. Pila ka book ang ninyo? Tulo. So there's 3 of the out of the 11 or 10, as we say, is already married and gone off. Asam sila ron?
Nasa sa lain lugar ba? Mambaling Japon siya ko. Sama sityo. Kuan kantor. Sityo nabang.
So different areas in Mambaling, because you know the Mambaling is a big barangay and full of urban settlers. I mean, most of them, there's a big community of marginalized people there.
Naman, nagtabaw sa among kapitan.
Kapitan only help you to chairs and table. How about the casket? What's yung itabang sa lungun? Sa casket? How about like contributing for the casket and all that?
Warna, pagkaob na lunes, ngay ko nagtabang. Bangko. Bangko raw buwan, misa.
Tent, so the barangay only lend them the tent, chairs and table. How about money for the casket and then the burial? So, I think imo na paluapon ti, kinaamon gyud na ti, burial assistance.
Pero ilang kapitan mapag. Manay burial man pa pero
Sa City Hall.
City Hall pero yo ka kay ko na sa Mules. Nya. Ring na di ko na sabi.
Okay, ikaw taga City Hall baya ka.
Wala pa ko.
So he's still waiting for the help from City Hall. He's still piling the documentation that they wanted, like death certificate, incident report, and all this autopsy report from the hospital. I think mo na imong paluapon ti kay mutabang man gyud na ang Cebu City, sir. Yun. So like he said, he started to file the documents as needed because he needs the 10,000 pesos for the, like, you know, the cemetery and the casket. Because like the cemetery is 5,000 and he paid that and he's lacking for the casket, but he's now filing for the City Hall. May santi uy, yan City Hall kuan ba? Kay you're working for the City Hall, dapat mutabang sila nimo. But it takes so long. But they said that they will assist him. Lagi. So she's saying that mo na na-election sa mga anak tanawa nga pobreta wala gyud tay kwarta hanggat it's really hard for people, and a sudden accident like that happens that you're not prepared that her son will go on and then it will incur her a lot of money. That was his fourth child. So daughter is chatting with a foreigner and then they send him like 200 pesos kada buwan. So but the foreigner so I didn't realize that when you do chatmate and you go through an agency, the agency get the money first before it's given to the chatmate. Mo ba?
Agency Marta, na history sa Amerikano. Ayaw na sa agency.
So the
ma'am, pwede ba ma'am na kita mo sa Amerikano?
So like address, because the agency won't give him the direct contact to the foreigner. It's always through the agency because the agency is asking for cuts. Mo ba? Not just like cut, ano? So he wants to because her daughter wants to contact the foreigner direct and kaon sa ti? Kasudan.
Ayaw na lang. Sige, no? Ako, nagbunga ito ng utangan ako sa agency. Ano nga na? Mga sila picture lang. Tiyatag sa panak.
So they're asking her to have pictures and then, or they themselves.
Atag niya. Malang primero ko. Gusto ko niya na ako ng okay. Ngayon ko na pa. Minsan number sa Mercano. Di man nila yata.
So any help that the foreigner is giving her daughter, they go to the agency first to get their cuts. So they end up with like 200 pesos. Because like the agency was charging them for the introduction, all the communication. Uy.
Isin, nakira sa pagkaon kaya sa bisinto. Pagkauman kay, kaman masukot ako anak ko, nakira sa hotel ba? Masukot, matong, inakaan kami.
So, there's another American that her daughter was introduced to, and they meet and then have dinner. Just gave her, wants to take her to the hotel room, but she said no. So she just been given 200 pesos to go home. Maula inut sad. So pila edad si mong daughter? 18 years old. So like, oh my God, like she said that people needs to be prepared for an unseen incident like that. What happened to her son? Pro direkta na di na agency. So right now, her daughter's also chatting to another foreigner, but the foreigner cannot visit, but through Facebook na directly. COVID pa. So the foreigner cannot come here yet. So sa ate, so very touching kay mong story ti.
Mami na mo siya. Mangyapon. Kano ako sa agency man. Gusto din mo sa panak. Kung kung may ganito na, 50 ka pin, 60 ba?
So the first foreigner that was referred to by the agency was actually very interested to her daughter, and it's the agency is the one stopping, because otherwise her daughter will be the one owing the agency. So that's why they have to stop, and now she got a new one through Facebook. Atay ka dino. Migi sige pa kag trabaho ti kay ingon biya ka ato nga you're saying that you're only gonna be working for 3 months. Sus. La. Ni Labilia? Rama. So Rama is now the one who's the mayor now, because Labilia is on leave. So Mayor Rama is now extending her. Migi naluoy sa Rama ni mo no? Because she's supposed to be like, she's only because she's only working casual every 6 months. Okay, January bete kay gikuante niningon ka 6 months ka. So there's no appointment yet given to them. Mo ba Rama? Oh mayo mamahang makuha na nas Michael Rama oy maayom na siya. So that is the story of the dancing traffic officer here near Puente Osmeña. Then she got a tragic accident to her son, and it's really like, but you still look happy. Bisag daghang kag problema. I said you still look happy even though you have a lot of problem. Because she said that.
Kenapa problema kasi bata kung nagkukarta ako tanan sama na 2,000 asa ko 2,000 ya 500 ang talas 2,500 asa mo kami kuno ko sa utang akong kuhan akong team balik pa ano problema kung asa pa mo sila resin ko
ang imo so that's why they're telling her daughter 18 years old that just find a foreigner to help us, like don't marry a Filipino. Find a foreigner so we can get out of this poverty.
Mau di ako kuwan. Kasi mekano, sikat ako to. Sabi ako,
High school imong anak?
high school.
Oh, so high school graduate.
Wala ka graduate, kinuhulong kayo.
But she is like, unsa nga year?
Paano? K-12.
K-12. So K-12, senior high school na di siya. So supposed to be, that's graduate high school. No? Lagi. But she can't enroll her for this June because of what happened to her son. June is our school opening here in the Philippines, and her daughter cannot continue on her last year of the senior high school, which is grade 12, because of what happened. But I said, ate, matabangan na gyud mo sa Ginoo kay labi nabiya ka sa City Hall. You're working in City Hall and there's loads of benefits sa mga City Hall, mga grants, mga tabang. Mag-file lang ka sa mga mga adto kati sa mga kuante. You should go to those kanang mga charity group, kanang mga sisters of kuan ba, kanang mga sister of sa toy Pink Sisters, mga ana ba. Okay, when I was before kay katong ako kung papa sa una, wala pa gugo ato naggamay when I was still smaller. I go to the different charities. Mato ko ng mga charity tanan ako nang duolon. Daughters of Franciscan sisters. That's why like she went to one charity, and when he know that you're working for the government, he said there's a lot of help coming from the government. You only like what I'm saying, because there is a lot of help coming from the city government, but you only have to file the paperwork. Pailan na gyud nimo ti kay daghan jud kay namulusot ana ti. I said just file the proper paperwork in the two agencies of the City Hall.
Yung matabang katirang kuha
10,000. So she was there yesterday. Di pero ilan ang matabang na yun? Ing na si Mayor. Dali ra kay na tiyo, si Mayor imong atuon. So just make sure that you go to the Mayor. So she was promised that they will pay for the burial, which is the 10,000 that she owe. Because I've been through all of this, so I cannot just feel pity on this. Okay, sige ti. So the dancing police traffic is the Ate Teresita. Cha 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 on job. Yes. Yeah. So Ate Teresita showing us her talent for dancing. She's the dancing traffic parking officer.